Australia, we've got a big retail waste problem. Every year, we each take home about 15 kilograms of new stuff. But we throw out about 90% of that in just 12 months. And just 2% of the clothes we throw out are recycled, with more than 200,000 tonnes of it ending up in landfill every year.
It's just too much. And it's this constant need for new stuff at the lower prices.
A huge part of it is cultural. If you look at influencers on social media and so on, it's all about wearing something new. You put it on and, for one occasion, and then you throw it away.
This quick turnover of fashion trends, plus the move towards cheap, mass-produced clothing, is something called fast fashion! Oh, see what I did there? Fast fashion? Anyway, it's the reason why we buy and throw away so many clothes. But clothes ending up in landfill isn't the only problem. Making clothes uses a lot of natural resources, making the industry one of the biggest polluters in the world, accounting for about 10% of global carbon emissions and 20% of global water pollution. And to cut production costs, a lot of companies have their clothes made in developing countries. Although it's created more jobs and helped grow the economies of those countries, it's also led to some big problems like poor working conditions, low wages and forced labour. So you can see why people say the way we make, use and throw away our clothes needs to change. Actually, I reckon I can make something out of this. Now, the Australian Fashion Council has come up with a plan called Seamless, where retail brands give up 4 cents on every garment towards things like recycling and reuse.
There is no way on God's earth that Australian consumers are going to object to 4 cents on an item of clothing to stop it going into landfill.
If most brands join the scheme, the AFC says it could divert around 60% of old clothing away from landfill by 2027.
We've got a responsibility to lead and we're really comfortable doing that.
But after asking 30 clothing brands to join the scheme, only 6 brands have come on board. And the federal government says if more big brands don't get behind it, they'll face tougher regulation.
You take charge or I'll do it. This is your 1-year warning.
The council hopes the scheme will drive the fashion industry towards clothing circularity by 2030, which is all about making clothes that last, making new materials out of old materials, and using what we have.
At the moment, we have a linear model where we take, we use and we dispose. We need to move to a circular model where we rethink, we reuse and we recycle.
But it's not all on the government and big brands. We need to change our shopping behaviour too. I think I've got something like this at home already.
We're going to actually work with consumers to help them, to educate them on how to maintain their clothing longer, how to ensure that the clothing doesn't end up in landfills.
It's a problem that we've all been aware of, and only together can we solve it.
So what can we do to help?
Reduce it, maybe try not to be as cool all the time, and maybe keep some old clothes and not just throw them away, just throw it away.
Handing down your clothes to younger family or friends. It's important to recycle because we only have a limited amount of materials.